Hello and welcome to Artismia. My name is Brandon, and today I'm walking you through my traditional oil painting process. Now, I've been painting for over 30 years, and over time, my approach has become intentional and deeply rooted in both discipline and instinct. The painting I'll be creating here leans more towards caricature rather than realism, not in a cartoonish way, but in how it selectively exaggerates and simplifies. I'm not chasing photographic accuracy here. What matters to me is the tension between the shapes, the relationships between color, and the energy that comes from letting the brushwork stay visible. I want the piece to feel alive, not overly polished. Before anything hits the surface, I start with color. I like to pre-mix the majority of my colors that I'll be using for a session on a glass palette. Now, why glass? Because I can see the paint against the neutral midtone. And since I can pick up the palette and hold it up against different colors, it allows me to feel a little bit more clarity. That helps to eliminate the guesswork. And it allows me to test color relationships in real time. It's a critical step in how I build harmony from the start. Now, speaking of canvas, it's always best to work with some kind of toned canvas. If you work with directly a white canvas, you're going to end up finding that your values and hues are going to lie to you. Toning the canvas with a neutral or warm cool midtone gives you a consistent reference for contrast and mood. For this piece, I used a cool blue violet, something that was pulled from the background of the original photo. Now, this helps me to unify the entire composition from the very first brushstroke and really gives a better sense of clarity for the color and control over what your colors are going to do next to other colors. My general approach is to work dark to light. Think of it like building a house. You lay the foundation first, large shadow shapes, and then carve light into it gradually. The darks go down thin, the lights go on thick. That's a classic method that gives the highlights more impact and helps preserve structural clarity. I typically use two types of reference for most of my paintings, the original photo and a digital sketch that I create in the Procreate app on an iPad Pro. The photo gives me proportion and tonal cues, but the digital version helps me to solve composition and color problems early. It becomes a roadmap, not a cage, and I always reserve the right to veer off course if the painting calls for it. For this painting, I used two brushes, one round, one flat, nothing fancy, one for laying in broad shapes and the other for details. I found that limiting my tools forces me to be more deliberate. Every stroke has to matter, and I'm not just filling in space, I'm constructing something with intention. I also embrace the underpainting when it shows through. Those areas where the toned canvas peeks out keeps the whole thing breathing. They preserve the original energy of the block-in, which for me is often part of the painting with the most life. I want viewers to feel how it was built, not just what it depicts. I recall one time where I was standing in a gallery and I overheard someone criticizing one of my pieces for showing too much underpainting. They assumed I didn't know how to paint. Now, I've got multiple fine art degrees and decades of teaching under my belt, so I just smiled. That moment reminded me not everyone will be able to understand the choices that we make, and that's okay. If the painting has life, it's doing its job. And if it's provoking some kind of reaction, it's even better. Especially in the case where somebody thinks they know everything. I'm constantly chasing color relationships, warm against cool, saturated next to muted, opaque beside transparent. I don't overblend on purpose. I want the temperature shifts and brush textures to do some of the expressive work for me. Not everything needs to be spelled out. Some things are best implied. As I approach the end of the painting, it's probably one of the hardest parts. It's knowing when to stop. And after 3 decades, I've learned that chasing perfection kills the charm. My goal isn't correctness, it's harmony. I stop when the painting starts speaking back, when it feels like it's humming with its own internal rhythm. So if you're out there creating paintings also, don't worry about being perfect. Focus on color, focus on the gesture, focus on telling a story with your brushstrokes. Now, I hope this breakdown and this video helps, or at least maybe it gives you permission to trust your own instincts. If you enjoyed this video, let me know, subscribe, leave me a comment, and join the conversation. That's going to be it for this one. This is Brandon from Artismia. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and go paint something. Make it messy, make it beautiful, make it your own. We'll catch you next time.